name is Nick Brown, founder of Cooking Physics, LLC. I help professional chefs be happy and successful as they build a culture of growth, development, and learning in their lives and become inspirational teachers. Thank you so very much. I'm trying a new system. I hope this is working. If it doesn't work out, oh, that stinks. But anyway, we're going to talk about work-life balance and what that means. My name is Nick Brown, and I'm the founder of Cooking Physics, and I help professional chefs be happy and successful as they're building that culture of growth, development, and leadership in their business. And I am trying to help each one of you understand what it's going to take to be able to get to that level. Now, one of the biggest buzzwords that's going on and has been happening for a while is that whole business of work-life balance. Now, my personal feeling is I love the idea of it. I love the fact that they talk about the things that you're able to do because of it, okay? But unfortunately, in the culinary world, it is just a bunch of BS, okay? And what do I mean by that? The reason why I say that is because when you think of a balance, you think of things that are exactly the same, okay? That have the same weight given to it. And in this sense, they're talking about your time, okay? You've got, your day is split up into three 8-hour sections. You've got 8 hours of sleeping, you've got 8 hours of work, and you've got 8 hours of your personal life. That's the whole point behind work-life balance, is to be able to get that same amount of time. That does not work in the culinary industry. It just doesn't. You're going to have times where you're going to have to work long hours. There's going to be times where you've got to push forward and you know, not be with family because we work nights, we work holidays, we work weekends. And if you're one of the lucky few that don't have to do all of those things, we're working every single day, all the times in between. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Sometimes you're in a hotel and you're even working the graveyard shift as that lucky person who gets to do all of the prep during the middle of the night in the off chance that somebody orders room service at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay? That's just how it's going to be. And so I personally believe the idea of work-life balance as a balancing act is a bunch of BS. It sets you up for failure. You're constantly going to be sitting there going, I had to work 10 hours today. That means I had less time. I need to get back to just 8 hours. I need to have my 8 hours with my family or 8 hours on my own personal life. And it's just not going to happen. What I like to think of it is we need to think in the culinary field more of a work-life harmony. Okay, what do I mean by that harmony? So when I think about harmony, what do you think about? You're thinking about music, right? And if you're thinking about music, I mean, imagine a full-on classical orchestra. The full orchestra. You've got the first violins, the second violins, cellos, bass, the woodwinds, the brass, the percussion, the drums, you know, and all those kinds of things. Okay? And you've got all those kinds of things. And if you're thinking about that everything needs to be balanced, you're saying to me that each one of those instruments needs to have the same amount of playing time, needs to play the same level to be able to get up to there, and so that they feel that they are needed and wanted and they've got the same amount of time, and everybody's trying to play at the same time. How do you think that's going to sound? It's going to be freaking chaos, okay? It's not going to turn out well. It's going to be straight up noise. And if we in the culinary field start thinking about this work-life balance as a balancing act so that everything, our lives are just going to be a bunch of noise. It's not going to work. But what does harmony mean when you're thinking about that? So harmony, you've got the melody. Okay, the melody is the most important thing at that point in time. Okay? Now that's typically going to be like the first violins Or if there's a singer, it's going to be the singer or the lead guitarist. That's the melody. That's the thing. That's going to be, let's say that melody is the most important thing in our lives. We'll put the first violins as work, okay? Close second, your life, your family life, your time with your family, okay? Or your time with your friends, or whatever is the second most important thing in your life, okay? You can flip-flop, it doesn't really matter. Just getting the point across, okay? And then you've got your cellos, and that could be a volunteer thing, or your friends, and the bass line could be, your church or your spiritual life, the thing that really keeps you up float and keeps the tempo and keeps things moving along. And then you've got all of the fun things in there, your adventures. You've got your flutes, and that's going to be like the fun adventures, and you got the nice oboe, and that's going to be your relaxing vacation, and things like that. So all of those things are just mixing together. And at each point of this symphony, at each point of this song, every single person, every single one of these instruments gets their heyday, gets their point where they get to say what they want to say. And so as it's ebbing and flowing, okay, sometimes your work, that melody, that main melody is in the first violins, and your work is work. You are grinding it out, you're working very hard, and you're very focused in what needs to happen. And everything else is just kind of taking a back seat. They're still there. You're not working 24/7, but it's there, okay? And then you get through that point of time. And then you move on and you start getting the melody in some of the other places, okay? Having that harmony where every instrument has their own strengths, their own sounds, and their own importance in each one of these things, okay? Harmony is being able to keep things into perspective and ensuring that one does not overwhelm the other. It's keeping things so that work does not overpower your life. It's making sure that life does not prevent you from making a living. It's allowing your passion to come through into your work. Your passion going into your family or into your personal life or into the other things you're doing, and letting that passion affect it and move it and shape the entire orchestral piece. Okay? That is what I think about when I think about work-life balance. I think harmony. Because balance is throwing everything all there, all at the same time. So, who's with me on this work-life harmony? And being able to get everything running smoothly back and forth. That's what I want you to understand. It's a short message today, but it is so important. I really feel like if we can start understanding this importance of the work-life harmony and understanding that sometimes our work is going to take a lot of time. But when work pulls back, that we need to have that other focus. We need to have that melody in other parts of the orchestra. Because if it's just the first violins, I'm sorry guys, but that's going to be a very boring, uninteresting orchestral piece. It's going to be a horrible symphony. And we need to make sure that we've got that melody passing through for everything so that we are focusing on all of the different areas. Sometimes work has to take a back seat. And when that happens, we need to understand that they're taking a back seat, but they're not gone. Sometimes our personal life has to take that back seat. We understand that at that point in time, we need to, let that be there and be fine with that. But we need to make sure that it doesn't take a back seat forever. Okay? I talk about the times we're in holidays. The holidays are the busiest time of the year. Okay? For the most part. I am up in a ski resort area. There's lots of ski resorts around where I work. And come middle of December, it's on. It's game time. Those 2 weeks of Christmas vacation between, holiday vacation between Christmas and the New Year's when the kids are not in school, okay? That is by far the busiest time of the entire year. We plan for it. I understand it's going to happen. I plan that I'm going to probably work 12 hours during that time. Okay? But when I get off of work, I make sure that work stays there. Work stays there, and I come home, and that harmony switches to family. When I've got that day off, that harmony switches to that day off. And then when things cool down and start relaxing and things like that, and we start getting into the slow season, I'm sorry, work, but you're taking a back seat. I still need to provide a living. Okay, don't get me wrong. But that's where I say, don't let life prevent you from making a living. But don't let work prevent you from having a life. Get that harmony. Understand that it's going to ebb and flow back and forth. Be good, be fine with it. Understand that in order for it to become a beautiful piece and a wonderful life, you need to get that harmony in sync with what works for you. Not everybody loves every piece of symphony. Okay? Some people, they love work. And it takes a bigger portion of their lives than the rest of their life. Other people, they love their life. They love their family, and that takes the bigger portion of it. Other people, it's the experiences. It's the going out with friends and having fun, and that takes the biggest portion of their focus. And that's okay. We just need to make sure that we've got that harmony so that one does not completely overpower the other. So thank you so very much for joining me in this live teaching this Thursday. I will see you next week where I'm going to be talking about the importance of networking. What exactly is networking? And what's the big deal? Okay? What are the benefits of that networking and how you can use networking to increase your career and increase your earning power. So I'll see you next week. Thank you again for joining me this week. If you have any questions or any comments about what you learned this week, please put them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And we will see you next week, Thursday at 1 o'clock. And we're out. Thank you.